Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Happy Easter, everybody! And I'm Joe Panther III, and welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast, where we put the volume all the way up to 11. And today, I'm going to have a gentleman on the pod. I'm going to have a gentleman that will end East Coast Wrestling Month. I met this gentleman at an East Coast promotion in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Yes, fans, that's known for The Office. I met him at a brewery called Voodoo Brewery. This guy is totally my energies. He puts it up to 11 like me. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the one and only Squid. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Hey, what's going on, Joe? Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes. So, Squid, so what made you join this huge world of professional wrestling?
That's a loaded question, my friend. I've been, obviously, as we all have, huge fans my whole life. And it was always like one of them secret little dreams of mine growing up, something that I always wanted to work towards and never knew if it was possible or not. And then as time goes on, eventually I meet up with Kit Raff, and we were shooting the shit, and he lets me know about Backbreakers Training Center, which at the time was located in Scranton, PA. And he said it's full-blown pro wrestling training center. Trainer was Justin Glory, head trainer and owner. And he said, take a stop down if you ever want to take it seriously. Well, I decided I wanted to take it seriously. So that was 7 years ago, and we're still going strong.
Wow. So who trained you at the Backbreakers facility?
It was Justin Glory.
Justin Glory.
He was our head trainer, and I always had Brad and Pinhat, Diamond City War Machines, were always around helping us out and giving us all the knowledge they've accumulated over the years. And there's been a number to come and go, but Justin Glory was our head trainer.
So what kind of advice did he give you to within like this awesome character of like Squid? Like, was it not always the same for the character?
It's rather than it being more of a character, I take a lot of pride in showing that Squid Sterling like is who I am. It's not like a gimmick that you see, an over-exaggerated gimmick in the ring. He always told me, he's like, take your energy. Like I'm usually a happy, energetic human and likes to have a lot of fun at all times. And he's like, take that, turn it up to 12. Take it from 8, turn it to 12. So that's exactly what I do. So pretty much what you see is what you get. And that was some of the best advice that I think I've ever gotten.
Awesome. So as you said, you started at the Backbreakers facility, as you said.
Yes.
What was the energy? What was your energy like the first time you stepped through the doors and you sat down?
Honestly, like at the time, I was in awe. I just couldn't believe, like, I've never been in a ring before I started training. And the fact that I walk into this beautiful facility, like, is absolutely beautiful inside Backbreakers at the time. And we sat down with all the other students that were there, other workers that have been in the business that come down and help us out. And we sat down, and Glory does what he does, what he calls Glory Talks. And it's when he sits all of us down, and he'll sit on the ring, and he will talk and talk and talk about the ins and outs of all the business. And he did that from day one. And it was wonderful just to hear him sit and talk about the business from his years experience, for us, what to expect, what it took. And just the way that he put it to us, it made the energy. It was a very welcoming, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like uplifting energy, like to really push you forward and to really follow your dreams and what you're made of, and to work really freaking hard doing it.
Awesome. So let's go a little further. Like, what was your energy like when you first stepped through the curtain for the very first time?
I virtually blacked out as soon as I stepped out of the curtain, because it was such, like, in the best way, by the way, in the best way, because when you're behind the curtain, when you're in gorilla position, And 7 years later, to this day, it still happens. You get your butterflies, you're a little nervous. You want to make sure you put on a good show. You want to make sure you're getting the job done the right way. And most importantly, you want to make sure you go out there and have fun. So trying to keep all of that in mind, the first time going out there, it was a lot. It was nerve-wracking. But really, once you go through the curtain and the lights on you, and especially when the crowd reacts, there's no feeling like it. I don't think I could actually physically put it into words other than quite simply like adrenalizing. Like it was incredible.
So, what was your very first song you ever used when you came out to the ring?
The first song I ever used, I like that question. It is from one of my favorite bands of all time. I only used it this one time only. But it was Backcountry from Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
Love how it starts off. He who makes a beast out of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man, and then it kicks in, and that just lit a fire under my ass, and shot me out there.
Awesome. So when you're like training, like weeks of the show, do you have like a certain workout regimen that you do, or do you like do like a certain thing and then you call your opponent, or you find out like do you mostly focus on your opponent the week of a show, or do you focus on the workout you have to do?
Depends on the opponent, depends on the show. There's some times where you're booked for a show and it could be an open challenge, and you really don't know who you're going to fight until you get to the ring. So sometimes you don't have the luxury of knowing who you're wrestling first. If that's the case, you just got to keep yourself in tip-top shape, like all well-rounded in the gym, your diet, especially the cardio, because, man, for anybody who thinks it looks easy in there, some of these guys might make it look easy, but if you don't have cardio, you're done. You're done for.
Yeah.
So that's a big focus of mine. And then for when I do know the opponent, it's you do tape study. I'll tape study while I work out. If I'm on a cardio machine, I'll be watching tapes and trying to figure out any strategy, any trick and little bit of knowledge that I can to use for my advantage.
So, Squid, what is the furthest you've traveled to go to a wrestling show? To like be at a show, like be in a, even if you're not wrestling, to be at a show.
Furthest I have traveled to be at a show is Florida.
Okay.
I was down in Orlando, but furthest actually working on a show was out in West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
For Big Time Wrestling. Not at Big Time Wrestling. There's like a secondary name to it. But yeah, that was out in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, at a county fair.
Oh, wow. See, am I right, Squid? In the South, I've always talked to all these Southern wrestlers, and they've been to state fair. And I live in the Milford, like Pike County area. We have the Wayne County Fair. We have the Sussex County Fair, little fairs. These bastards never get independent wrestling any kind of opportunity. If you're watching this, don't get mad at me, Pike County. I mean, Wayne County, I love you. You're a nice people are nice, but you're crazy. But and Sussex, you're cool. Let's throw an independent wrestling show right in the middle of your fair. We have Smash Masters Wrestling right there for the cooking to come to your fair and do a show right there by the piggies. It'll smell, but wrestlers do, but yeah, like, have you ever gone to one of those shows and just like walked around in your gear and just stared at all this stuff from the fairs and just been like, wow, look at this?
Yes, definitely have. It's a fun thing to do before and between matches. There's a couple county fairs, not necessarily around like the Scranton area. I'm not too familiar up in Milford where you're at. But I know the Lycoming County Fair does it every year. Which this past year I was in a tag team match with Short Sleeve Samson.
Never heard of him.
He was a little person in WWE.
Oh, wow.
That was a very fun experience. New York has wrestling at quite a few different county fairs up there. They do Speedy Fest. They do the Chemung County Fair. ECPW usually runs up there. Excite Wrestling does a couple of them. But yeah, none. You're right. None really around here.
Nothing. It's weird. I'm sad because if you ever followed me like last year on Facebook, I totally went off because I was like, I live in the Milford area and I live near Delaware Valley High School. Hey DV, you won't be watching this, but I went out and I used to go to the shows before I started before I had this podcast, and I went to my last show was there. Slaughter was there. No, not Slaughter. Jerry Lawler was there. Guy rest his soul. The Jim the Anvil Nightheart was there. And a few other indie wrestlers that I didn't know yet because there was no Dudes at Ringside yet. It's Back to the Future style. It hasn't happened yet, so no one knew. It would have been funny me walk out in the DeLorean like, one day I'm starting a podcast. This guy's gonna be a celebrity. What? And I just disappear. I just turn into like a pair of red. My pants just fall down to the ground in my shoot. Nah. You're like, I'm gonna be a celebrity? Yeah, I knew it. Me going, yeah, I know. See, you know me as Doug the Creator, so I'm already a celebrity. See, but that YouTube channel won't exist, Joe. What? I have to create a new one. So when you're going to the shows, Squid, what is the playlist like in your car? Because it has to be something awesome.
It's always awesome. That simple as that. But I love and genuinely appreciate all styles of music. My playlist is everywhere. There's not one style. It can go from Alice in Chains and Hailstorm over to Twista, Tech Nine, Eminem, right up to I like pirate metal. Hailstorm, can't go wrong with Hailstorm. So like
Hailstorm's awesome. I love Hailstorm.
Hailstorm is fantastic. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. But I'm talking about Ailstorm, A-L-E.
Oh, Ailstorm. Okay.
Yes. I like it all.
Okay. So are you, other than the character Squid, are you actually in a real band?
No, I'm not in a band. I do go out and I do just my solo material. It's just me, acoustic guitar, coming out, and I do original material. And I also take a lot of music that I personally love. I like to cover them, and I like to change up the style. I don't like to do a carbon copy. You can turn on the radio and it sounds like it. While as talented as some are to be able to do that, that's not my style. I'll take Britney Spears and make it sound like it came out of Alice in Chains.
Wow.
On my acoustic. That's something that I really enjoy doing.
That's awesome. So like, if my fans want to find you on Spotify, are you there?
Soon we will be there. I'm in the process of recording my first original EP. But as for now, I have some covers up on YouTube. I really am starting to take the music seriously over the last couple months. And because back when I was younger in high school, I was in 2 different metal bands. We used to open up for national, semi-national acts across the NEPA area for a while, but I haven't done anything musically since high school up until this past year. So now I'm getting back into it. I have my own identity and we're going full steam ahead, but you can't rush for perfection with this music coming out. So no. I don't want to put something out that I rush or half-ass or don't have my heart and soul into, because if I'm not feeling it, nobody else is going to feel it.
Yeah, because it's like you don't want to put it out and then it be on Spotify and then you go do a concert or performance at like a small bar and then the person listens to it on Spotify as they're going to the concert and then you play it and they're like, you sounded a little weak when you were singing it on Spotify, but when you're here, you sound like Alice in Chains. I don't get it. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's not even worried about like a weak performance. It's just when I lay some tracks down and I listen to it, it has to resonate hard within me, because if it doesn't, I don't expect it to resonate within anyone else, whether it be on the record or live.
I get that. Totally get that. So in closing, Squid, if my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
At Squid Sterling on pretty much everything. Facebook, Instagram. I have an X account. I don't like using X, but it's there. TikTok, Squid Sterling, YouTube. If you guys are interested in any merch, I make my own designs. They are up on teespring.com, and you can find that link posted on any of my social medias. It's really dope designs. I took the time to learn how to do them and put them out there. Yeah, that about covers social medias.
Awesome, Squid. Thank you so much, man. I'm so honored to have you close out Tri-State Wrestling Month. If again, Squid, is there any upcoming shows you're going to be in so you could promote them to my fans?
Yeah, upcoming shows. We have WrestleMania weekend, baby. That's a big one. We're out in Philly. All on April 4th, we have the return of GSW Wrestling. Their event, Ring the Bell. They have a killer card. Speaking of killer cards, I'm in a tag team match. My tag team, Electric City Mayhem. Whole faction myself, I got to give them all a shout out here. Of course, it's Zach Zander, Alexander Bateman, and Damon Dante. The four of us just aim to bring rock and roll party and quite literal mayhem everywhere we go. And April 4th will be no different. Come GSW, we take on Mike Skyros and Jacoby Riddick together. And that is going to be one hell of a fight. Last time I fought Jacoby Riddick, he took me to the limit. I like to think I took him to the limit. He ended up victor. So now this is time for us to redeem ourselves. Smashmaster Wrestling is also running that day. So we'll be in Philly for Smashmaster. We also have the Philly Mike Happy Hour show going on. I believe it's in between GSW and Smashmaster. But that's a card in itself. April 14th, we have Smashmaster coming up at the SBC Brewery out in Pittston, PA. The band that does my current theme song, Smack Daddy, it's the Mesos. They're a real fun, funky punk band. And they like to party. They're going to be rocking the after party. And it's going to be electric, to say the least. But aside from that, there's a lot of dates coming up throughout the year. I will have them all on my social medias.
Just send me a picture of it so I could post it on on the Dudes page so it could help you, and I'll tag you in it.
I will, absolutely.
I love promoting wrestlers, and when you see Smashmasters, tell them Joe Panther III lives in the Milford area. He loves promoting shows, even though his area kind of like gets the kick in the pants. Because I'll tell you, while we're done recording, it's a bad, not a bad story, but it's kind of like, oh, really, they had to do that. Well, I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Squid Sterling.
And we will catch you in the next one.